Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and the Oscars just wound up, and I wanted to share some of my favorite moments of the show in case you didn't get the chance to watch them. Starting with my favorite moment of the show was Joaquin Phoenix winning Best Actor for Joker. He gave a really fantastic speech. Look, I am a vegetarian, so I liked what he was saying. I think it was a little extreme, probably for some people, but he made, I think, valid points, things I believe in. So it's always nice when you hear someone say things you believe in. But I just think he said it very eloquently, and while it was a little extreme, his talking about the cow milk and things, he's a hardcore vegan, guys. Aside from that, he believes in it, and he stands by his beliefs, and when he's going to go, he tells everybody this if you talk to him or ask him about it. But it was really the second half of the speech that really hit me hard. Obviously, I could relate to it, but I think we all can in our own ways. And I wanted to share a piece of it, and then I'm going to break down some other scenes I liked from the show. But here's Joaquin wrapping up his speech, winning for Best Actor.
I've been a scoundrel in my life. I've been selfish. I've been cruel at times, hard to work with, and ungrateful. But so many of you in this room have given me a second chance. And I think that's when we're at our best, when we support each other, not when we cancel each other out for past mistakes, but when we help each other to grow, when we educate each other, when we guide each other towards redemption. That is the best of humanity.
Amen. And then he gets choked up as he does this. I mean, you can tell this is genuine emotion. Joaquin Phoenix is known to sort of fake things with his movie, that I'm Still Here movie, and this is I have never seen him this emotional in it, and with good reason, because his brother River Phoenix died ages ago, and he doesn't talk about it. This is not something he likes to bring up, and so when he shared this quote from his brother, it was just an even more of a punch to the heart with just such a powerful statement.
When he was 17, my brother wrote this lyric. He said, "Run to the rescue with love, and peace will follow." Thank you.
Just absolutely beautiful. Totally loved it. I thought it was definitely one of the best moments, the best moment of the Oscars. Overall, the Oscars was filled with a lot of musical numbers. They did do a lot of musical numbers, but and there was some other politics. Joaquin, I mean, he was getting into politics slightly, but he didn't talk about politics. He went into his veganism hard. But beyond that, the dude clearly cares a lot about that, and then just cares about just people being nice to another. And I think that is something we should all agree on both sides. But I also agree, look, you can't force people to eat the way they want, even though I prefer it. It's the way you do it. But at least he stands up for his beliefs, right? That's what you got to ask. I appreciate it. If you're going to be that extreme, at least own it and always stand by it, and don't be afraid to. So beautiful speech by Joaquin Phoenix, and the quote from his brother, really touching. The other touching moments were Bong Joon-ho winning for Parasite. It was just a really awesome feat that he won.
Bong Joon-ho.
I mean, you could just tell this moment was amazing because he just did not see it coming. And then he goes on to reveal, I mean, Matt, you got to go back and realize he's up against Scorsese and Tarantino. This is just amazing that he was not only up against them, but he beats them, and he clearly didn't expect it. He gets script, he got Best International Film. They just changed it from foreign language, and now he's winning Best Director. And then, spoiler alert, he won Best Picture as well. But this was a moment you could tell it really hit him. And then he does this really amazing speech and just calls out Martin Scorsese of just how he gives this quote. And Marty's just so ecstatic, which is just really sweet to see.
Thank you. 좀 전에 그 국제 영화상 수상하고 이제 하고 이제 릴렉스.
International feature, I thought I was done for the day and was ready to relax.
So he gives this.
감사합니다.
Here, I'm trying to get to the translated version.
어렸을 때 있었는데 영화 공부할 때 가장 개인적이 가장 창의적인 것이다.
When I was young and studying cinema, there was a saying that I carved deep into my heart, which is the most personal is the most creative.
And then he goes on to say,
that quote was from our great Martin Scorsese. So
Like, I love it. Like, look, if you're not going to win an Oscar, Martin, I mean, it's got to feel pretty cool. Like, you just inspired this amazing filmmaker. It gives me goosebumps. Just like, what is a better honor than winning an Oscar? Guys, an Oscar's cool. I get it. But to know that you're inspiring filmmakers like him, and to be able to sit there and get this moment at the Oscars, where, yeah, of course it's Martin Scorsese, but what a nice moment. And then what a humble guy to sort of take his win and give it to Martin Scorsese. Was, and just have, most of these guys would also just like not want to single one of them out, but of course Scorsese's the best out of all of them, and it was just a beautiful moment to give him that respect. And then he goes and gives Tarantino respect, saying that Tarantino always stood up for some of his early work, and gives him some props. And then he does call out the other filmmakers as well for Todd and Sam, and says how great they were in addition. But it was a very humbled speech, calling out all of his. And it was just impossible to not like the guy and be excited for him. So everyone was just, all the other directors were clearly happy for him. And this was another fantastic moment of the show. And then it was just also a fantastic moment to see them win. Going through all of the the winners, just so we can sort of recap that for you guys. It was... here it is. Complete list of winners. Parasite won Best Picture, which was a complete surprise, but fantastic surprise. It was the first foreign language film, which they now call Best International Film. It's the first time a foreign language film has won Best Picture, which was awesome. It is, for me, without a doubt, the Best Picture of the year. And I really liked 1917, but it got technical awards, so I think it still got its award. So I was happy, but I was much more excited for it to win. Parasite to win Best Picture. Renee Zellweger won for Judy. That was assumed that was going to happen. Joaquin won for Joker, which we showed. Bong Joon-ho won for Director. Laura Dern, as expected, for Marriage Story. And Brad Pitt, also as expected, for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Jody, you owe me $20. And why does this keep coming up? And then Toy Story 4 got Best Animated Film. Look, I like Toy Story 4. It hasn't stuck with me like the others, but I just need to watch it again. It's now on Disney Plus, so I probably will. But the big shock of the night for me was that the fact that Elton John's "I'm Gonna Love Me Again" from Rocket Man beat the Frozen 2 song, which, look, it's not that big of a surprise because I think Frozen 2 is not very good. It was not a good. I don't think it was nearly as good as the first one, and I think the music was forgettable. So it was actually kind of nice to see Elton John and Bernie Taupin. Bernie Taupin won his first Oscar. His long-time collaborator with Elton John didn't win for Lion King, which Elton John has won for Lion King. So it was nice to see Bernie get that too. And then Best Original Screenplay was for Parasite. And then Taika Waititi, now Academy Award winner Taika Waititi, was also another great moment of the show. And then Parasite won for International Feature, American Factory for Best Documentary. And then Cinematography and Visual Effects went to 1917, which I was happy about. Those two things together are what, to me, really made that film a notch above any other film this year from a technical perspective. Just brilliant. So the fact that it got both of those, well done. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did win for Best Production Design. It got something. It was a good look. And then Little Women even got costume design, as expected. And then Bombshell, which I thought was well deserved for makeup. Charlize Theron, fantastic in it, and just totally transformed herself into Megyn Kelly. Partly due, obviously, her acting, but also the makeup helped tremendously. And then even John Lithgow, disgusting makeup for him. And then Ford versus Ferrari got 2 for film editing. So glad that won over some of the 1917 and Once Upon a Time in America. This was or Irishman. It was also nominated. Ford versus Ferrari, I thought, really good film, and I'm glad it got 2 Oscars for sound editing as well. Joker got Best Original Score, and Hildur, the composer, she gave a really fantastic speech, another great moment of the show. I had that on my Twitter. You can go check out my Twitter feed to watch that clip as well. 1974 also got sound mixing, and then these are the short prizes. And there you go. So I felt like the only thing that didn't get really anything was Marriage Story. No, Laura Dern won for Marriage Story. It was Irishman. Irishman was shut out. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I didn't love it. I liked it. I respect it. I just think a lot of people were giving it a lot more props than I think it warranted. Good film, not my favorite of the year, and not Scorsese's best by any stretch of the imagination, but a strong film. But look, I think the winners this year, surprisingly, were pretty well thought out. Laura Dern was probably the one I'm like, and even Brad Pitt. meh. They both gave strong performances. Don't get me wrong, but both felt like sort of career wins versus the performance wins. But Brad Pitt gave a really humbled speech. You could tell he really was genuinely humbled by it all. Was happy to be there. I think I have his photo here. It was a good speech from Brad Pitt. You could just tell he really wanted to be there. I mean, he talked about how Ridley and Gina and Susan gave him his shot with them on Louise. But even Tarantino did in True Romance. What a fantastic performance he gives in True Romance. So now full circle, getting his Oscar for Tarantino's film. It was a nice moment. And then it was cool to see Steve Martin and Chris Rock did some really funny jokes in the beginning. There was no host, but they did this. They did sort of a 5-minute, 6-minute little jokes. It was good. And look, that's what they need. Just need something funny to open up. And they had a few other funny moments. Kristen Wiig did a really funny bit with Maya Rudolph, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Will Ferrell did a great bit. And then later in the show, they did Best VFX, and they had James Corden and Rebel Wilson come out to do the Best Visual Effects Oscar as their cats. No, as from the film Cats, we know how important visual effects was. It was a very funny moment. And then the weird moment was just this Eminem showed up to do Lose Yourself. Martin Scorsese was sleeping during it. But it was I thought it was kind of cool because I know that people are hating on him on the internet, but I liked this moment because if you don't remember, he actually didn't show up to those Oscars because there was like that time, it was backlash and overexposure. He was too popular at the time. And Lose Yourself is a fantastic song. I will take that to the grave. Yeah, I think it's an iconic song that will last. I think it has. Mom Spaghetti, come on. But it was nice to see him show up and actually take his Oscar moment, which he never got to do back in that day. And so I thought it was a fun surprise that he showed up and did it. And the audience was into it except for Martin Scorsese. And then there was a good moment. I love this moment where Bong Joon-ho is just looks at this, finds someone who loves you as much as he's like longingly looking at. He just can't believe it. He's like, oh my God. I love just how genuine he is. It was another sort of fun moment, memeable moment of the night for me. And also Peanut Butter Falcon. If you haven't seen this film, great film. It was nice to see Shia there with Zach, the co-stars of that movie, and give Zach a moment at the Academy. It was a cute moment, and it's a really touching film. It's like Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn in a more present day with the two of them, and it's I do suggest you watch it. But Taika Waititi winning, great moment, and I didn't like the Frozen stuff. It was cool because they brought out sort of all of the international singers. But yeah, as my joke said, I didn't think the Oscars get any whiter until they did this one. Ah ha ha ha. But it wasn't my best joke. Anyway, there was overall, I missed Joan Rivers at the top. There was a lot of bad red carpet footage, but there I'm just scrolling through to make sure I didn't miss it. Roger Deakins winning. Yes. Love this man. Here he's the best. He's such the nicest guy. And what a fact, 15 nominations, and now finally won 2. Well earned. One of our best, especially one of our best living cinematographers ever. I think he will go down. The work he has done is tremendous. Was very happy to see Roger win. And then this was another big moment. They brought out Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman to meet Ripley. And of course, I'm sure I saw a lot of people using this as an excuse to bash Brie Larson, but I thought it was a fun moment. And love the speech from what's her name, Hildur, and then big surprise there. And then that's the clip I played you of him winning, and then Joaquin's speech. And finally, there it is, Best Picture of the year.
Oh my God.
There's me reacting. It just was a shocking big moment that I think a lot of people didn't see coming, hoped it might happen. It wasn't like it was like a total shock, but I just think people didn't really think they'd pull it off. I thought everyone sort of assumed 1917 was going to do it, or maybe some other movie, but it was there. It had a shot, and the fact that it pulled through was just made it that much specialer of the evening, and it was just nice. You could tell that cast was so excited, and they deserved it. It's a great film. Out of those 9 nominations, for me, it's easily the favorite. And I'm glad Joaquin won. I'm glad Renee Zellweger gave a great performance. I'm glad she won. Overall, not a bad Oscars. The opening, opening musical number with Shanae. I don't know her name. I like her acting, and she's a good singer. But it was just a weird. Why? I guess it was just a dance number opening, and then there was a couple others, a lot of music. Billie Eilish showed up. I don't actually dislike her. She did the Memoriam, but they hyped up her performance. I was hoping we were going to hear a Bond song, but look, I think she's a good singer, and I like that her parents keep her at home and don't try to give her a big head. And her and her brother just played music in the bedroom. It was a nice, touching tribute, and some definitely some sad losses we had this year. That was a nice scene. Overall, though, I didn't hate this year's Oscars. I thought it was fine. If you like watching the Oscars, this one I thought delivered and actually did some good awards this year. And it was nice to see Parasite win all the awards. I just keep going, and Joaquin's speech very inspiring. So there you have it, the best moments of the Oscars, in my opinion. What did you think? Did you watch? You can find more of these clips on YouTube. The Oscars has all the places there. I don't know if I'm going to get dinged for sharing that one, but I wanted to make sure I showed a couple of them. Tell me your favorite moment down below, or if you just hated it, or if you refused to watch. All that down in the comments, or hit me up at Andy Signor on socials. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, comment, engage, all that fun stuff. Thank you, everybody. Have an awesome night or day. Bye.